characters, incidents, names, and situations used in this story are fictitious. The resemblance to any person living or dead is purely coincidental. The following video contains some horror elements and suitable for a mature audience, 16 plus. This channel and video is not for kids.
Hello friends, I am Aryan and welcome to our channel Midnight Horror Stories, where you get to hear true and scary ghost stories. In our channel, you will get to hear true and scary stories every Tuesday and Saturday. But before starting the story, all the friends who have come to this channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like the story, then definitely introduce yourself in the comment section. Then let's do not take much time and start our story quickly. The story that I have brought for you today is about 24 to 25 years ago. That is, in that era when there were no mobile phones, there was no internet, nor were there so many means of transportation. And this is the story of a village which is inside Madhya Pradesh. And even today, if you discuss that village with an old-fashioned man, he may tell you the truth. However, the truth of that village was known to many government officials. But no one was ready to believe that such a thing could even happen on earth. So the person with whom this whole incident happened is a government employee and has now retired from his job. He is the one who told us this whole story, and he had this whole drink of his own with himself, which is really scary and creepy. So let's get started. Hello friends, my name is Shankar and I am a retired government officer. This was from 2001 to 2002 when there were no Google Maps and so on. There were not many facilities at that time, but it was just as good as it was. I was a census officer in a government department and our job was to keep an account of the population every year. We would go from village to village and find out what the population of that village was. I was young at the time and was a newcomer to this city. I bought a bicycle by adding a pipe. You must be wondering why a government officer had to do so much to buy a bicycle. So friends, I had 4 children whom I wanted to study very well. So my wife and I used to live on less. Well, after taking the bicycle, my job also became a lot easier. I used to come by bicycle, which saved me a lot of time. And during all this time, I went to Daulat Khera village for the census. Friends, let me tell you one thing here. This Daulat Khera village is not the Daulat Khera of Uttar Pradesh. This is Daulat Khera of Madhya Pradesh. Well, let's move on. I went to that village on a bicycle. And when I went there, I saw that as soon as I stepped inside that village, the people of the village were looking at me in a very strange way. It's as if they have seen a ghost. I found his look very strange. But then I didn't pay much attention to it because my job was to get out of here by doing the census. I went to a house there and knocked on the door and said, I have come for the census and I want to ask a few things. The woman who opened the door was looking at me with very strange eyes. It seemed very strange for him to stare at me like that. She was just staring at me constantly and not responding to anything I said. Then I asked him the same thing again. Now before I could say anything again, I heard a man's voice from behind. She can't speak, poor thing. Let me answer his questions. I didn't mind that, so I asked the man all the questions and then headed towards the next house. That village was not very big, but even if I spent more than 10-15 minutes in every house, the census could not be completed in a day. So in the evening, I left for my house. When I was leaving that village, I saw an old man just outside that village. Seeing me coming from that village, the man said in surprise, "Are you coming from Daulat Khera village?" Hearing this, I said, "Yes, I am a census officer and I came here for that purpose." Hearing this, the old man said in surprise, "What kind of census of this village, son? All the people of this village have disappeared a few months ago. There are no living people there except the houses. I kept doing a census of the people of that village all day today. Then where can all those people disappear?" Thinking this, I was about to say something to him when I remembered that sometimes it happens that we encounter madmen. And then we should not argue with madmen at such times. That's why I said, "You are right. Okay, let's go now." After speaking, I left from there. When I got home, I kept my register and then dinner and went to sleep. The next day, I went to Daulat Khera village again. As soon as I opened the register to conduct the census, I saw that everything I had written the previous day had disappeared. I flipped through the pages not once but several times, but there really wasn't anything written there. I couldn't believe how all this could happen. I remember I did the census yesterday and all the records were written in this register. How was it possible then? I was looking at the register while thinking about this when a man from the same village in front of me spoke. What happened, brother? You seem to be a bit upset. Hearing this, when I looked at the man's face, I saw that he had a strange, mysterious smile on his face. I was a little scared there, so I thought let's do a second house census first. So I left and I went to another house and started getting information about them. Guys, I had many such registers, so I thought that I might have accidentally left yesterday's register at home and picked up this one. That's why I'm starting to take notes in this now. I thought I would go home and fix them. While I was getting all this information, suddenly it started raining there. Seeing this, a man of that house said to me, "Brother, it is raining and you don't even have an umbrella. You do one thing, come inside the house. When the rain stops, go away." It was just the month of April and there was no rain in such a month. I don't know how it got here, but at the moment there was no time to think about all this because I was getting wet.
So it was in my best interest to take refuge inside that house. I came inside that house and finished my next work. In a short time, when I knew everything about that house, I closed the register and waited for the rain to stop. It was raining, so they also gave me tea. I don't know what the effect of that tea was, that I started to feel sleepy. It was difficult for me to keep my eyes open. And seeing this, the man said to me, "You are sleepy. You do one thing, sleep for a while." Guys, how could I sleep at a stranger's house? Although he did not mind this, still my mind did not agree to do it, and so I told him that I just want to wash my hands and face. There was a well on the inside of his house. I went to the well and tied a rope in a bucket and threw it inside the well to draw water. In no time, the bucket started coming up, and as soon as the bucket was completely up, I went to it so that I could take that bucket out. But as soon as I took the bucket in my hands, I saw that a black figure had started coming out of that bucket. I was so scared of it that I left the bucket with one jerk, and with that the whole bucket fell back into the well. I was so scared that the sleep I was getting was blown away in one fell swoop. I couldn't believe if what I had just seen was true. I nervously came to the well and tried to peek inside it. At first, I didn't see anything. Seeing this, I breathed a sigh of relief. But then, the next moment, the black figure suddenly came and grabbed my neck. A loud scream came out of my throat, and with that, all the people inside the house came there. Seeing me standing near the well in such a panic, the man asked me, "What's the matter, brother? Did you have a bad dream? Why do you look so scared?" I couldn't even say when the same man spoke again, "I told you to sleep for a while. You're too tired, maybe that's why you're seeing strange things. But fear not. Alright, now I also started to feel that maybe I was getting all this because of sleep. That's why I thought it was good to get out of here today." However, it was still raining, but I didn't feel right to stop there. I thought I'd get home quickly and just go home and go to sleep. I came home early today, drenched in the rain. Seeing this, my wife got a little angry that when it was raining, she would have stopped somewhere. But what would I say to him that I didn't stop there because of the way I was seeing the strange thing there, and maybe all that was happening because of sleep? I took a shower, changed my clothes, and went to sleep. The next day, I went to the village again. This time, I was fully asleep. My mind was fresh. However, yesterday's story was still swirling in my mind, because of which I was also a little scared. I didn't want to do a census of this village, but what would I do? That was my job. I hurried home and opened the register to conduct the census again, and saw that there was nothing written there. It will happen once, it will happen twice, but it will happen again and again that I will bring the wrong register. But still, I thought of doing this for the last time, and now I thought that if something like this happens, then I will not do a census of this village, no matter what. I started my work on this register again. The woman who owned this house said, "You have been roaming here for many days. Haven't you finished your work yet?" Hearing this, I said, "Government work takes time, sister, and I'm alone at the moment. After conducting the census of this village, I have to go to do the census of another village. But it will also take time. After all, earning bread is not easy." On this, the woman said, "You are very lucky because you only have to earn bread, but we also have to work hard to eat. Because no one comes here much. Now after so many days you have come." I felt very strange when I heard this. That's why I asked him, "What do you mean? What do you want to say?" But she didn't say anything. She just stared at me very strangely. The way she was staring at me made it look like a lion looking at its prey. I quickly finished the work from there and headed forward. But during this time, I don't know why it seemed as if the woman was looking at me from behind. I hurried out of there and disappeared into an alley. I breathed a sigh of relief as I walked out of there and was now in front of another house. After writing everything, the woman of that house said, "Brother, you must be tired. If you spend time in the sun, then you come in and drink some water." I was also feeling very tired and my throat was dry. So I agreed to them and I came inside their house. Inside the house, I saw an elderly woman feeding a child in her lap in the courtyard. An old man and a man of the same age as the woman was sitting in the courtyard and making a mess. As soon as I came in, they made me sit and the woman brought me water. I started drinking water and then the people present there started talking to me. Many of the people in this village were very strange, but these people were quite right. These people were talking to me very well. In the conversation, I told them that you guys are very good, but I don't know why so many people in this village are so strange. They stare at me very strangely and also say strange things. Hearing this, the old man said, "You are not from this village." That's when he does it. Government officials rarely come to this village. Only when it comes to work is done. Otherwise, the people of this village are either living or dying. It doesn't matter to anyone. Now you will also leave after completing your work and then forget about this village. Many people in the village are very irritated by outsiders because there was a time when we all needed help so much, but no one came forward to help us. Maybe our message has not reached the government. That's why he couldn't come on time. But because of this, all of us had to suffer a lot. It was not the government's fault. Many of us in the village believe this, but many people feel that the government did not think about us. That's why they get annoyed with you. But don't worry, you will leave quickly after doing your work, and if possible, do all the work inside within a day. Otherwise, it will take you a long time. Hearing this, I laughed and said that this is such a big village. How do I put it on government papers in a day? It takes a couple of days. And I'm in a hurry more than you. I want to finish work and get out of here as soon as possible. I had gone to many villages earlier for the census, but nowhere were people like that. Hearing this, the woman said in a low voice, "They may not have had what happened to us."
Hearing this, I asked in surprise, "You are repeatedly talking about a situation for which you had sought help from the government. What happened here is that you had to ask the government for help." Hearing this, all the people started looking at each other. Then the same old man said, "It's better not to know about certain things, son. Do one thing, either finish the whole work today or come out of here tomorrow and try to do all your work within a day. Don't forget to return to this village." I didn't understand the roundabout things of these people, but it was clear that these people were not bad at heart. These people were very nice to me. At the same time, some people here seemed half crazy. Well, I drank water there and then went ahead with my register. Today I reconducted the census in a lot of houses. But now I was afraid that all this work of mine might disappear again. I was a little suspicious that I was really forgetting my working register at home, or if it was really all missing. To find out, I set out for home in the evening. During this time, when I was leaving the village, I met the same old man whose house I had drunk water today and said, "All your work is done, isn't it?" Then I said, "No, Kakaji, there is a little left. I will come and do it tomorrow." Hearing this, he said, "Look, son, it would be better for you to finish all this work at once. Otherwise, it will be too late. You'll be stuck right here." While saying this, Kakaji's face looked very much as if he wanted to tell me a lot. So I said to him, "What's the matter, Kakaji? You seem to be a bit upset. Do you want to tell us something?" Hearing this, Kakaji started looking around. During this time, when I also looked around, I found that some people from the village were looking at us. Seeing this, he said, "No, son, there is nothing like that. You will actually have more work to do." So I said to deal with it quickly. "But let's face it, you can take it easy the day after tomorrow. It's going to be night. Now you go home." After speaking, he left from there. After they left, I turned around and looked at the man who was looking at us. He was smiling very strangely at me. All these people were hiding something from me. But didn't he understand me? I started thinking about all of this and started moving forward from there. But at the same time, I came out of the village and found the madman there. Seeing me leaving Daulat Khera village, he said in surprise, "You have come from this village again. Did you go inside this village? Look, this village is not right. Strange shadows roam here, so stay away from this village as much as possible." First, I was already out of my mind. On top of that, this guy had screwed up even more. Its words had started circulating in my mind, and now I was beginning to see the truth in its words. So I went to my office the next day and said that I will not do a census of Daulat Khera. Hearing this, my colleagues asked the reason for this. Then I also told them everything without any filter. Even if he makes fun of me, but what was true was always true. I was going through all that there, so only I can understand how I felt.
They made fun of me and one of my colleagues, Nilesh, said, "Hey brother, nothing like this happens. There are many strange people in this whole world. So that doesn't mean we can't even live in this world. Now look at the matter of your village. Some people in your village will be so strange. Some may be right. Look, this is how the balance is maintained. Don't worry about everything and get the job done." Hearing this, I said, "It's easy for you to say, but it's just as hard for me to do. You guys don't understand. Whenever I come from that village after conducting the census in the register, the next day when I open the register, I find that nothing is written on it. This has happened to me not once but thrice. And if this continues, I will keep visiting that village like this." Hearing this, Nilesh said, "Well, I understand your point. That's why I do one thing. I'll go with you tomorrow. Both of us together will finish that work in 2-3 days and move on to the next village." I couldn't refuse it because otherwise I might have lost my job. So I agreed to it. And then the next day I took Nilesh to that village. Seeing that village, Nilesh said that everything seems to be fine here. "I don't know what you said, but let's leave and quickly finish the work here and then go home. Look, if you and I stay together, it will take more time. So let's do one thing. I go this way, you go that way." I also found this to be right, because it would have done more work for both of us. And so now we started doing the census separately. Yesterday's entry was missing from my register. So I went back to all the houses I visited yesterday. Seeing me there again, a man said with a strange smile, "What's the point? You wrote it yesterday too. What happened? Did he disappear?" Hearing this, I was surprised for a moment as to how it was known. But then I said, normalizing myself, "That register was left at home a little bit, and today I have come with a new register. So you tell me again." And in the same way, I went again to all the houses where I went yesterday. Seeing me come this way again brought a crooked smile to their faces. So I had decided that I would finish my work here today and leave. And then I came back to Kakaji's house while conducting the census in people's homes. I went to his house again and started questioning him about it. During this time, there was a look of helplessness on his face and he told me softly, "Son, I told you yesterday to finish all your work in one day. Look, what happened now? You had to come here again." I was upset because of what was happening to me again and again. And I asked him, "Kakaji, I don't know what is happening to me. Every time I take a note and take it away, it all disappears the next day." Hearing this, Kakaji looked around. Standing behind him was his wife who was feeding the baby that day. She was looking at them very strangely and next to them was her daughter-in-law who looked helpless. Seeing this, Kakaji said, "Maybe you have forgotten your original register at home, but it's okay. Make a note here today and go home and write it down." Looking at those people, I felt like they wanted to tell me something, but they could not tell the reasons for being monitored.
So in such a situation, no matter how much I ask, he does not tell. So I also thought of not asking. I asked him all the questions like yesterday and then moved on. During this time, I knocked on the door of a house again, but no one opened the door from inside. I thought maybe they hadn't heard, so I knocked on the door again. But this time the door opened with the sound of a crack. When I looked inside that house through that open door, I saw that no one was visible inside. I came inside the house and made a noise. "Is there anyone in the house?" But I didn't hear any sound from inside. If the people of this house had gone somewhere, they would have locked the door. But there was nothing like that here. I thought maybe everyone was sleeping inside the house, so I moved deeper into that house. During this time, I kept calling out to the people so that they would get up after hearing my voice. But I couldn't see anyone there. I had come to the house where the well was looking for the people in the house. I looked around a lot, but there was no one there. Then I thought, let's leave this house and see it later. And thinking of that, I started to leave. But at the same time, I found that someone was grabbing my feet from behind. When I looked down at my feet, I saw that 2 black hands were holding my feet. Now, before I understand anything, those hands pulled my leg hard, causing me to fall on the spot on my face. Now, before I tried to recover, my eyes went upwards. A creeping black figure was dragging me towards the well. My register fell from my hands right there and I started screaming in fear. But no one came to help me. During this time, I noticed that I had my pen in my hand. Now the question here was about my life. So I didn't think much of it. And I stabbed the sharp part of this pen into the figure's eyes. The figure released my legs and he began to writhe on the ground. Guys, when I penned that figure, I felt really bad inside because I was hurting someone. But then when he was writhing, I saw him writhing on the ground like a snake. Even in his eye where I had hid the pen, some black liquid was coming out. Seeing all this, my heart was dry. I understood that this was not a human being. I quickly picked up my register and hurried out of that house. I kept running out of there and kept running until I was out of breath. By now, I had reached the village Chopal where a lot of people were sitting around. And seeing this, I breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing me running there, an old man asked me, "What's the matter, son? You are the same census officer, are you not? Where are you coming from running away from here like this?" I somehow managed to compose myself panting and told them the whole thing. This was then said by a man from the village. "It's good that you came at the right time. That house is really cursed. It is believed that a ghost lives there. But don't worry, now you're in a safe place." Even though I was in the midst of people now, thinking about all those things still scared me. Because of what I had seen in almost every house here, I did not feel like going to any house. I wanted to come home from there. But what does it do? Nilesh also came with me today. At this time, mobile is very common. But at that time, mobiles were not so popular. And me and Nilesh did not have mobiles, due to which we could not tell each other by talking to each other, so I was forced to stay there. I was doing my work, but I had thought that I would only do a census of such houses where there were many people around. And thinking of this, I started talking to such houses in the village. Soon it was getting night, so now I started waiting for Nilesh to come. I waited for him for a long time, but he didn't come. Exhausted, I asked the people of the village about Nilesh. But some people said that yes, he went to their house after conducting a census. Some said they didn't see him. I had thought that if Nilesh doesn't come even in half an hour, I will leave and tell my office people about all this. But only after about 20 minutes, Nilesh saw me coming from the front. Seeing him, I breathed a sigh of relief. And now both of us started walking towards the house from there. During this time, I noticed that Nilesh, who always speaks, was very calm today. When I asked the reason, he said, "You are absolutely right. This village is a bit strange. From tomorrow we will work together. The sooner the work is done here, the better." We came home from there and then the next day I again went to Daulat Kheda with Nilesh. We were both together today, because of which I was a little less afraid. But I don't know why Nilesh was not saying anything. I asked him the reason for this many times, but he was not saying anything properly. And during all this, we came inside a house. They asked us to sit inside the house, but I refused, because the people of this village can't say how. But then Nilesh said, "My condition is getting worse after being in the sun for so long. Let's just sit down for a while." That was absolutely right. We were walking in the sun for a long time. Because of this, I agreed to him and came inside the house with Nilesh. They gave us tea and water, and then we started gathering further information while drinking tea. But at the same time, I started feeling a little heavy in my head. I don't know why. I felt like I was going to faint in no time. I told Nilesh about it. Then Nilesh smiled strangely and said, "If you are feeling ill, then why don't you stay here tonight?" Now, before I could say anything, I felt as if someone was holding my hands from behind. When I held my head and looked at it, I saw that the people in that house were grabbing me and taking me to which room of the house. My head was getting so heavy that I was lightly writhing my hands and feet, but other than that, I was not able to do much. It felt like my body was out of control, but I was still opposing all of them. I was trying to get rid of them. Meanwhile, Nilesh came up to me and slapped me hard. The slap was so strong that I didn't even have the courage to resist as much. They dragged me into a room and threw me down. Then they closed the door. It was so dark in that room that I didn't know what time it was. On top of that, my mind was not working properly in my condition. I tried my best to keep myself healthy, but to no avail. With each passing time, the weakness in my body began to increase more than before. My brain was now losing the power to think and understand. And with that, I became unconscious. I don't know how long after I regained consciousness, because it was very dark in that place.
But even after regaining consciousness, my head was hurting a lot. But now it was that I had control over my body. All the people here were very strange, and I started to feel that these people do black magic and so on. So I thought it best to get out of there. I started looking for a window or door to get out of there, but there was only one door through which I was brought in, and that too was locked from the outside. My courage was beginning to give way, and I began to feel that I might not be able to survive now. I was worried about what would happen to my wife and children after me. My son's birthday was coming up next month, and I promised him that I would get him a bicycle for his birthday. But now it seems that I may never be able to keep my promise. That's when I lost hope. Then the door of that room opened and the same old uncle was in front of me. He came to me and said to me, "Son, are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine." "But why have these people kidnapped me like this? What do these people want? I also come from a normal middle-class family like these people. I don't have enough money for my family to pay for me, and what did they do to my friend Nilesh?" Then he said that, "I will tell you everything, but for the time being, you get out of here quickly. If they come, they will not leave you, and I will not be able to save you." I stood up and said, "What will happen to my partner Nilesh? He's got along with them." Hearing this, he said, "Your companion has not met those people, but must have been lying unconscious in a house in the village here. You see him later, but you get out of here first." Then I said, "You don't understand. He is a government employee, and if he disappears, everyone will be suspicious of me because he came here with me. Even if I tell them that these villagers have done something to him, they will not listen to me. I will be jailed, and death is better than such a life. I have to take him with me. Please help me with this." On this, he spoke to Kaka. "You don't understand the danger at all. But let's be okay. I'll help you with that." And then I and that uncle came out of that house. There was no one around at the moment, because of which both of us walked in the narrow lanes and moved forward from there. I was very scared doing all this. But life was stuck in the circle, and in such a time, a person can do anything to save his life, and that is what I was doing. After walking a little further, he came near a house and stopped and said in a low voice, "It seems that your friend is imprisoned inside this house." Hearing this, my eyes lit up, and I said, "What are you waiting for? Let's go and get him out." Then Kaka followed me and said, "It's not that easy. So far, some people from the village are present inside this house, and they will catch you again after seeing you. Let's do one thing. I'll drop you out of the limits of this village. You're safe out of this village. These villagers can't go out of this village, and then I'll bring your friend there. You two get out of there." I liked this, but I was worried about them because by now the villagers would have known that I was missing from here, and they had a hand in making me disappear. Then I don't know what he would have done with them, so I told him, "No, Kakaji, I'll also go with you. They won't leave you." At the same time, his eyes flashed terribly, but there was helplessness on his face just like before. Seeing them like that, I took 2 steps back. At the same time, he returned to normal and said, "This is the truth. I know I'm not trustworthy, but trust me for yourself, not for me. I'll save your friend." I saw truth in his face, that's why I agreed. After this, he left me out of that village hiding from everyone and said that, "You wait for me here. I'll bring your friend, but don't come inside the village." After speaking, he disappeared from there. I was quite surprised by the look of Kakaji that I had just seen. I didn't understand what he was. I was thinking about all this when the same madman came there and said that your friend will reach you safely. Uncle Ji is a very good person, so he wants the welfare of people even after death. I was very surprised to hear this, and I said, "Who are the people of this village, and how did this Kakaji die? What happened here?" Then he said, "This was a few months ago when everyone here was just as normal as you and me. This village was also absolutely happy like every village. I also lived in this village. We were all living so well together that one day everything changed." After this, the man started telling what had happened in this village. Friends, I will narrate the incident of that village in my own words. A few months ago, even during the daytime, the sky was covered with dark clouds today. It was still winter time. Seeing this, a man from the village spoke. "I don't know what's going on with the weather these days. Now look at this time of winter and how densely clouded it is. I am afraid that our crops may be spoiled." Then another man from the village said, "What should we do, brother? What can we do in the face of a natural disaster? The sky was cloudy for a long time today, but it didn't rain. Everyone found this very strange. Everyone was thinking that it will rain now, it will rain now. But nothing like that happened. But because of the weather conditions that were there today, the pets were behaving quite strangely today. Dogs barked at the sky repeatedly. At the same time, cows and buffaloes also looked up at the sky. No one understood what was going on. But then the same old uncle who helped me said, "I don't know why something doesn't feel right. We should all get out of here." Hearing this, a man said, "Hey, why should we leave this place? This is our home." "Oh, nothing to worry about. There is light rain. What will happen will be seen." Hearing this, Kaka looked up at the sky, where the clouds were darker than before. It was so dark that it was not clear whether it was day or night. Seeing such a horrible scene, All the people of the village called their children inside the house, and all the people were now imprisoned in their homes. In such a situation, Kaka came out of his house and knocked on the door of the Sarpanch's house and said, "I don't know why I don't like all this. I think we should all go to a safe place. People are not listening to me. You are the Sarpanch of the village. That's why I will definitely listen to you." When the Sarpanch looked up at the sky, he too had sensed something untoward happening.
So he called his men and asked all the people to come to the government school in the village. The government school in the village was built at a slight height and was also strong. Because of this, there is no such effect of heavy rains. Hearing the Sarpanch's words, all the people took all their valuables with them and proceeded towards the government school in the village with their families. It was so dark that it seemed as if it was night, but it was actually 4 o'clock in the evening at that time. All the people were hurrying towards the government school in the village when suddenly one of them shouted loudly, "Look at a white light coming from the sky in this direction." I don't know what that white thing was, but whatever she was slowly growing up. Seeing all this, all the villagers were very nervous. They left all their belongings and hurried to the government school in the village with their children. There was a small forest behind that school which went further into the fields, and after that all the people were moving inside that school one by one on the main road, when suddenly everyone saw that a lot of white light had set foot on the land of their village. And now before the villagers could understand anything, some of those white lights came and started targeting the villagers, and with this they started disappearing from there. All this had caused a stampede inside the village, and those who had come safely to the school quickly closed all the doors of the school. Inside the school, everyone sat in a very calm place, frightened. At the same time, they were also hearing the screaming and shouting of the people of the village from outside. Seeing all this, the Sarpanchi said, "I don't know what kind of problem has come to our village. We should get out of here." Hearing this, Kaka said, "They are spread all over this village. He won't let us get out of here so easily. We have to think of something else." Hearing this, the Sarpanch said, "Look, there is a small forest behind the school which goes straight to the main road through the fields. If we get there, we can get out of here too." Hearing this, a woman said, "It won't be so easy, Sarpanji. It's weird people standing outside. As soon as they see us outside, they will make us disappear too." Hearing this, Kaka said, "But we have to try. It is better to try and get out of here than to die here, and if all goes well, we will be saved." Some people got it right. He agreed to go out. Some people didn't want to go out there. He believed that he was safe in the strong house of this school. And then all those who wanted to go out left for the forest through the back door. Among them were the family of the Kaka, Sarpanch, some people from the village, and the man whom I had mistaken for mad. Khair, they were all moving forward through the forest when suddenly they heard the screaming of some people from behind. Hearing the voice, Kaka bolli softly, "They seem to have made it this far. We should get out of here quickly." Hearing this, all those people increased the speed of their feet. But if they were, then they would have walked so fast in such a situation. And at the same time, they all heard the screams of the person walking behind. He was walking right next to Kaka. Kaka saw that he had suddenly disappeared from there. Seeing all this, they were very nervous, and now all of them started running away fast without caring about anything. Kaka tried to convince them to try to go hidden. But the fear of death had destroyed their ability to think, and that is what they did stupidly. But during all this, the same man was leaning and hiding in the crops. Seeing this, Kaka said to him, "At least you try to get out of here. If you reach somewhere in time, you can get help from the government. There is a police station not far from here. You go there and get help." By the way, the police could not do anything about it because they did not know how they were targeting people, that they were all disappearing. But what was the harm in trying? Kaka helped him get out of there, and finally he reached the main road. But during all this, Kaka became their victim and they also disappeared. He ran away from there and went to the police station and told them everything. The way his breath was puffy and the clothes were dirty, the policemen thought that maybe it was a madman. That's why they didn't take his words seriously. He kept looking for all the strange shadows in the whole village and targeting the people. On the other hand, when the policemen did not come forward to help him, he also sought help from the people of other villages, but no one helped him. As a result, by morning, the entire village had disappeared. The next morning when he went back to the village in a panic, there was a death calm. All the houses were the same, but there was no one there now. And with that, the uncle stopped telling me all this. I was very surprised to hear this. I couldn't understand what the white light was that engulfed all these villages.
We were both talking about this when I saw Nilesh running towards this side from the front. He came running and stopped near the village boundary. Then he said, "Before those people come, quickly pull it towards you and get out of here." And as soon as he said this, Nilesh fainted on the spot. And at the same time, the same uncle appeared next to him. I was watching all this in amazement when he said to Kaka, "Hurry up, time is short." Hearing this, I somehow managed to get Nilesh out of the village limits along with the man, and with this, Kaka disappeared. I hit Nilesh on his face to bring him to his senses, and then after a while when he regained consciousness, he told me that they had given him water when he was conducting a census in a house.
After he drank the water, I don't know what happened, that darkness fell before his eyes. But even before he fainted, he had seen a strange thing. And that was that all the people in that house had their eyes shining horribly. We went back to our homes from there, and the next day we told our office that we had gone to that village. But there is nothing there. The whole village is completely deserted. Hearing this, when some government officials went there, they found that the entire village was really empty. In fact, when there are only one or two people, then the soul of the villagers is visible to everyone. But when there are more people, no one sees them. This village was removed from the government papers because there was no one here. This deserted village still screams in the darkness of the night and tries to tell the story of the past. But there is no one to listen to him. It's been a long time since this happened today. But I still get shocked when I remember all that. So the incident that happened with Shankarji was really horrific. And I still think that he came back from this village safely. If that uncle had not been in that village, perhaps Shankarji would not have been able to come to save his life. And he would have disappeared there just like the whole village had disappeared. And perhaps we would not have come to know about that terrible truth. Thank God that Shankarji has returned safely and brought his friend back safely. So friends, those who say that such a thing does not exist, then there is a big lesson for those people that there are so many secrets hidden in this world which are hidden in front of our eyes. And that's what I'm trying to tell you here. So friends, this was our story today. How did you like the story? Please do tell me by commenting in the comment box. And also, those who haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourself and your family. I'll meet you soon with a new story. Thank you.